Hi guys, in this show we're looking at Johnston, Scott, Roebuck, Todd, Cloak, Smith, Larter and Sawa. We're looking at 2000's Final Destination.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of 100 Things We Learned from Film. I'm one of your hosts and I'm crappy fart new metal rock guitar.
I thought you were actually just going to say, I'm Father Christmas.
Jesus.
Death has got a present for you.
Death's got a present for you, and it's probably disturbed.
And I'm the same guy. I'm John.
Oh, John, how are you?
I'm alright, buddy. Yeah, it's alright. It's getting closer to Christmas. Do you know what I mean? One thing. Horror movies.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We promised that we would do something different for Christmas because we are that hipster pair of bastards.
Yeah, we're so out there.
We're bringing you ghosties and ghoulies and ghoulies? No, maybe not. That was the guys that were like shit critters, wasn't it? Gremlins critters that were exactly crawling out the toilets, and at no point did they ever crawl out the toilets. What a load of shit. So we, you're right, John. We decided to do something a little bit scary, a little bit spooky and ooky, because it's Christmas, and I always associate Christmas with ghosts, as Tom might say. Yeah. So what are we looking at this week?
So we're looking at 2000's Final Destination.
God, man. I loved this. I thought this was great fun. 21 years on. So stupid.
It was like, oh my God, yeah. But it was still highly entertaining, but oh my God.
Yeah, it was pure nonsense. Absolute pure nonsense and stupidity. And so many kind of funny bits as far as I was concerned, like shitty funny bits, you know.
Yeah. There's a couple of bits that were like, do you know what? They didn't need to do that. They just did it anyway, which was a bit weird. But we'll come to that. We'll come to that.
We'll also come to some shocking casting decisions as well.
Oh God, yeah.
Some really bad casting decisions. We're the podcast, of course, that tries to learn 100 things from every film. We had a fantastic October, we had a good start to November, and then we absolutely flushed it down the loo last week with Legally Blonde. We're going to see if we can get 100 things from this thing.
So you want to find out the films of 2000, you need to listen to our road trip session.
Road trip. We're going to Austin, Massachusetts.
That's right. It was a good show. It was a good show. But yeah, if you want to find out the 2000 films, please listen to that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, we're not going to... Come on, we're giving you all the facts you want. We're not going to spoon feed you good films as well. This one opens... A slasher movie, by the way, if you ain't seen it. This one opens with this character, Alex. Did you recognise this actor, John?
Was it in Idle Hands?
He is in Idle Hands, yeah. I've not seen that in decades, mate. Is that still good? Does that still hold up?
To be honest, I've not seen it.
No, of course you haven't. Why would you need to? Yeah, I think I think that was recorded. Your man, the ginger one, Oz out of Buffy. What was he called? Seth Green. Yeah, he was about 40 then.
He's never changed, has he?
No, he hasn't. No, he doesn't look any older at all. But yeah, this is Devon Sawa, right? Now, getting started early with the things I learned, this blew me away because I hadn't realised he's Stan in that Eminem music video for Stan.
Oh God, so he is. Yeah, right.
With the big spot there.
Jesus,
and Dido goes, Stanley, get him up, pub.
Oh God, that's like
I know. Absolutely blew me away. That he was also the human Casper in that Christina Ricci Casper film. You know, Casper turns into a human later on. Yeah.
Jesus.
That was him. Now, I had this conversation on What the Fuck Do You Want podcast a while back. I think you maybe have listened to this episode where we were talking about the Casper video game. Christina Ricci was horny for little boy Casper's ghost dick in that film.
Yeah, she was looking for
He's
some...
like 6 or something, and she was like 16. Come on, girl, what are you doing?
She was looking for some ectoplasm, I tell you.
Oh, Jesus, John. It's a start. Hang on. How do I write that down, the facts? Ectogism. Right, okay. He was nominated for a Blockbuster Entertainment Award in 2001, whatever the fuck that was, for Favourite Horror Actor for this. He lost to David Arquette in Scream 3. I mean, come on, son.
Oh, right one.
Yeah, but yeah, he was something for a hot second, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was definitely right up there. But yeah, because I remember him from this and that. That's the only two things.
Yeah,
obviously apart from the Stan video now that she liked.
I know, it's amazing. I had to go away and watch it, and I was like, Jesus, I used to really like this guy. Eminem, not Devon Sawa. Like, what the hell was I thinking? What was 20-year-old me thinking?
I know. Where were you? What were you up to?
I was living in the hood in Nottingham.
In the hood, Joe.
In coal mine in town hood.
I'm going to be honest with you here. I watched the director's commentary, and I've got a shed load of facts.
Mate, you're doing Satan's work, and I love you for it. That's fantastic.
I know. I have to do it. So, have you got your pen heated up and ready?
Oh, mate, let's do this.
So, the Taffin fan is not a real thing. That's quite annoying, actually. Sawa slept through the opening scene for 4 hours while the crew just worked around him. He actually fell asleep and didn't wake up for 4 hours.
What?
I know.
Okay.
What? The clock scene where it shows 180 took 5 days to do. But the reason they tried to get the 180 in is because it was going to be called Flight 180.
Right, okay.
And it was originally penned as an X-Files episode.
I did have that, yeah, fantastic. Not Devon Sawa, of course he did fuck all, but James Wong did some X-Files stuff, didn't he? He's an X-Files boy.
Yeah. So he'd written it as a thing, but they took it and just expanded on it, so that was good. The only other thing that I've got, and I got this from Owen because I've seen some of the books, and one of them was Death of a Salesman. So Death of a Salesman is a 1949 stage play written by American playwright Arthur Miller. It premiered on Broadway in 1949 and ran for 742 performances.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Miller won a Pulitzer and a Tony Award for the very same book, and he was married to Marilyn Monroe.
Fact City.
I know, mate. Yeah, we are. We're off for it. Mum and Dad are helping Devon Sawa, Alex he's called, pack for this thing. Now, I looked at these parents and I was like, shit, these parents are younger than me and you, John.
I know. And
that made me sad. That made me very sad. and a little bit scared. I think death's coming for me.
You wish. Death's too good for you, boy.
They're at the airport. Now, here's this character that isn't Stifler and also isn't a character, Billy Hitchcock. Now, I said we were going to talk about miscasting. The fucking hell is Stifler doing playing this little kid, this like, dweeb. Yeah, that's exactly the word. Yeah.
He's just a dweeb.
Yeah.
He's the opposite of Stifler.
He is the opposite of Stifler, although Stifler was a bit of a dweeb inside. Sorry. Alex's mates are these two brothers, and their dad kind of gives them some money. There's this guy, this other character, this Kerr Smith actor. Now, I was kind of like, I know him. He was in 100 episodes of Party of Five. I don't think he was. He's there with his girlfriend, who was in nothing.
Do you know what? I think he was in like, what's that Vanderbeek thing that we all hated at the same time?
I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. Yeah, he was in Dawson's Creek. That was the one he was in. That was the one he was in. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but he's a not again not really in this, but really angry in it, stupidly angry in it as we go through, unnaturally angry in it at the wrong people.
He really was.
And the character Clear, who's Ali Larter. Yep. As Alex is going in to the airport, this Krishna stops Alex and says, "Death is not the end." And the teacher's like, "It will be if you harass my students." I was expecting her to do the punching him out like the character in Airplane.
As soon as I seen it, I was like, "Oh,
update! I'm going to kick your ass."
But no, I thought the same thing. Somebody punched that Hare Krishna.
The teacher's got this kind of slightly cropped top on. I was like, that's not acceptable, but it is 2000s hot.
Oh, yeah.
Alex is seeing stuff not normal. So the departure board, he kind of sees like a bit of it breaks. Claire's reading this book about Paris, right? And this book about Paris that she's reading, she's kind of flicking through it's like, I don't know, an off-the-beaten-track guide to Paris kind of thing. But did you see the page that she was reading about?
So was that the Dodi Fayed and Princess
Diana's death?
What the hell? I know.
That crap is... Why are you even reading that? Princess Diana died 31st of August 1997. We've discussed this on a previous episode. In the Pont d'Alma tunnel, Paris. The tunnel's named to commemorate the Battle of Alma during the Crimean War, in which the French, British and Ottoman alliance beat off Russians on September the 20th, 1854. We wouldn't have been able to do it without those Ottoman shoe storage things. Is what I think. I think that's the Ottomans we're talking about, right?
The only way they're going to win was by beating off the Russians.
Dodi Fayed, right? There's a lot of good stuff here. Dodi Fayed, the son of former Harrods and Fulham FC owner. You know, the same guy that commissioned the statue outside the ground of your man Michael Jackson. Do you remember that? If you want to see that statue, by the way, I've seen it. It's at the National Football Museum in Manchester. the statue of Michael Jackson. Shamed paedophile Michael Jackson.
Oh, Jesus. Who wasn't going to see that?
Dodi was a film producer. He was executive producer on Chariots of Fire. FX, future episode, by the way. I love FX. Hook, which I love a lot less. And there's a statue in Harrods of him and Diana, and it's a memorial called Innocent Victims, and it looks like they're chasing a swan. So all I could think was, it's just the one memorial, actually.
I know. Jesus Christ. Get that fucking swan.
So yeah, we've learned more about Dodi Al-Fayed than we have about anybody else there.
Yeah. God, yeah.
Lady Diana. Yeah. So they're all kind of like milling about in this airport, and Alex continues to see things. Alex's mate Todd tells Alex he needs to have a pre-flight shite.
Which sounded nice, by the way.
It is. Yeah. Why does he recommend it, John?
So that so that he doesn't get caught short midway, and then one of the beautiful girls walks in and smells it. Something to that.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So he says so that her eyes aren't watering with the fetid stench of your ass or something like that, which is unfortunately what my wife has to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Poor ghetto.
Yeah. In the toilet, he hears John Denver. Do you know anything about John Denver?
I know that he died in a plane crash, and I didn't even need to look that up.
Yeah, that's exactly what we know about John Denver, isn't it? Henry John Duschendorf Jr. I mean, the fact that somebody else had that name first. 1997, in a plane that he'd recently purchased, he had 25 albums and was poet laureate for Colorado.
Oh, there's things I didn't know.
You see, John, sometimes it's just the little things. At least that's what I tell my wife. On the plane, which looks really beat up, by the way, it's got the scrapes on the door and all this kind of stuff. There's a baby and like a mentally disabled character, and one of the guys said it would take a really fucked up god to take down this plane. Yeah. The baby was really unattractive. It looked like a character out of the film Freaks.
I thought it was CGI at first. I thought that's a really ugly baby.
Yeah, we've CGI'd. We've CGI'd the ugliest baby we can.
I didn't think CGI was a thing back in 2000. It turns out it was.
Oh, come on! You've seen Phantom Menace. Funnily enough, I should mention that Freaks film. You know, Todd Browning's Freaks. All of the characters in this were named after directors from kind of like the 30s and the 40s. There's Hitchcock. There's Todd Browning or Todd. There's a few others, and I kind of like that. Val Lewton. I was into that because I quite like my.
One of the FBI agents was actually given a job because he cordoned onto the fact that they were directors, and because he knew they were directors, he thought this guy's definitely getting a job.
All right. Alex switches seats with these Valley girls, these Barbie twins, and sits with Todd. Todd's really upset because he wanted to sit with those girls or one of the girls, and unfortunately, he has to now sit with Alex and watch fucking Stuart Little. Stuart Little, of course, 1999 film, loosely based on the novel of the same name, nominated for an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects, and lost, John, to The Matrix.
Wow, well, I can see
Stuart Little.
But see the way you spoke about it as well, I was like, oh, I need to watch Stuart Little again, because it must have been like 8 months before it. You'd have thought, would they still be playing that on the plane at that time?
Oh yeah. I think I kind of saw Hail Caesar on a plane when it was out on DVD on DVD and streaming. Alex's tray won't stay up. He breaks the twisty thing on the tray, and he's getting more and more stressed. The flight takes off, and everything does this cheer and wave, you know, way kind of thing, because Americans. And I was kind of like, look, those particular characters on that particular plane deserve to, spoiler, get blown up, in my opinion. If you applaud when a plane lands, the wheels deserve to fall off that plane as it lands, exactly. in my opinion. Like people that clap at the end of a film in a cinema.
Yes. The
cast aren't there, mate. What are you doing? The projectionist isn't going, oh, he's up in his thing taking a bow, is he?
You never know, he probably is.
Yeah. And in fact, modern cinema, there's not even anybody there.
I know.
Sadly. The plane starts to kind of shake, and it shakes itself apart. There's this electrical fire. I love the fact that it gets a hole in the fuselage, and these seats just fire out the side of it. I was like, that looks good. I like that.
It was good effect.
There's an electrical fire, and they all die in this fireball. It was good. Alex then wakes up and freaks out. He's still on the plane. The stuff that's just happened is starting to happen. He gets dragged off the plane with this Kerr character and his girlfriend, as well as the teachers, Stifler, Hitchcock, and Todd heads to help them out. Clear also decides to join them for whatever reason. We'll learn a little bit later on. Everybody else leaves. The teacher convinces the other teacher to go on with the kids. So this teacher's been going around going, bonjour, come on, comment allez-vous, all this kind of stuff. And then when he's talking to her, she's like, no, you go. He's like, only if you're sure. I'm like, what? He's not even French. I'm not even French. She's like, oh, come on, you know all the French, you know all that French stuff. I was like, fucking hell.
Bloody plane.
She doesn't really want to be there, does she?
No.
So they all get on the plane. Right. So Kurt starts fighting he's so angry for no reason. The only thing that is happening here is he's going to be like 6 hours late. They're going to take another flight in a few hours' time, and they're going to be like 6-8 hours late. Yo, come on, man! You've made me 8 hours late for Paris. They're there for 10 fucking days, mate. Chill the fuck out.
I'm listening to all the croissants, man. But in the departure lounge, did you notice the pictures all behind them? So the pictures behind them were actually pictures of train tracks, buses, so it was all the ways the characters were going to die.
All right, nice. Well spotted, that man. I did not see that because I was busy writing fucking notes, John. Sometimes I think I just need to pay more attention. So he's explained to the teacher what he saw, and in the distance, the plane explodes. Yep. So what he's seen actually happens. The FBI arrive to talk to them all. They're interviewing Alex. How did you know? He said it's just a feeling, and I saw it happen.
Yes.
Clea says in her interview that she believed Alex. It's the only reason that she got off the plane. And here are their parents to pick them up, except for Clea. So we learn here that she's got nobody. She's on her own. Alex's folks drop her off, like at the end of this street on her own, after she's just seen her classmates all explode.
Or die.
You'd let her sleep on the sofa, man, wouldn't you? You know.
The scene where everything explodes, or the plane explodes, and the windows go in.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, but later on in one of the scenes, it shows you a news article or news thing where it says that they took off from JFK and it exploded over, was it Long Island?
Long Island, correct.
So that's 40 miles away. So how the fuck did that explosion blow out those windows from 40 miles away?
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, fair point.
That's a long way away, man.
Was Guile not on it going, Sonic Boom?
No, wait, oh dear.
And that's what started the fire, because he was having a fight with Dalsim, and Dalsim did Yoga Flame. Or something. I don't know.
But yeah, that was a long way away for those windows just to explode.
Absolutely. We'll learn a little bit about Long Island and all the cats that died at that point when that blew up as well. It's 39 days later, which is dead specific, and there's this memorial service at the school, and they kind of pull off this tarp, and it's this huge eagle soaring, and I thought, that's in a bit of bad taste, innit?
I know.
Right, they died.
Anything that flies.
They died in a flight. Yeah. I guess what would have probably been a bit more bad taste would have been, I don't know, something that crashes to the ground. I don't know, like a fucking lemming or something. You know, maybe wouldn't have that. Let's go. The memorial. So somebody has built this fucking thing, carved this and all this stuff. You know, there's marble and there's bronze. There's that. It's 39 days. I don't think that happens unless there's somebody in the town that's got like some of them partly done, just in case there's a big plane explosion.
Yeah, because it was quite intricate, wasn't it? But apparently they had to redo it, so it cost extra cost because they actually put the names of the characters and the names of the actors on the actual thing itself, and they wanted them to take it off because they thought it was bad juju.
All right, okay, fair enough.
So they had to redo it.
It's in the movie.
Director told me so.
Carter approaches Alex. Oh, this Kerr Smith's character is called Carter, the unstoppable sex machine. He approaches Alex. I'm never going to die. This just randomly. I'm never going to die. It's never going to come like. All right, you know. All I care about is my hair and my motorcycle
and my car.
Hitchcock speaks to him and says, "I passed my driver's license with a 70. It's the lowest score that you can get. I've added it to the list." But she says, "I'll die at a young age." Is that right? They basically think this guy's Mystic Meg.
Yeah. No. Eventually they'll keep asking him, didn't they?
Yeah.
When we're going to die.
Yeah. He's like, "Look, I do not know. I just know what I saw." Everybody hates him, which seems a little bit harsh. They all seem to blame him, including Todd's dad. That night, Todd's in the bathroom, right, and there's a breeze. And there's a lot of breezes that are evil. The wind kills a lot of people indirectly in this film. And I'm kind of like, that's not scary or spooky. It's just fucking weather, mate.
I know. Until you see one scene where the window's shut and you see the wind come in and thought, wow, that'd be
exactly. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why you need to insulate your house.
Exactly.
And the government don't want you to. Anyway, let's not get into that tonight. Right, so Todd's doing all this stuff in the bathroom. Now, what I really like about this film is, as it goes on, they're all doing little things, and you're kind of watching and going, "Oh, that's the thing that's going to kill him."
Yeah.
Such as there's the water on the ground, and then he's cutting his nail, he's cutting his nose hair, and he's got the razor. And you're like, "Oh, the razor's going to do it. Oh, he's going to stab himself up through the brain." You know, and it gets you. Yeah, it gets you every time, even though I've seen it probably about 5 times.
Yeah.
The breeze shuts the door. The toilet starts to drip, which made me think, you know, have there been many toilet-related deaths? Not to my mind, but apparently that particular scene was the longest death scene in any of the franchise.
Right.
Famous people that died in their bathrooms. Elvis. Yeah, obviously, famously. Jim Morrison and Judy Garland. And there's a 2018 film called Death Toilet.
Oh my God, is that like phone booth?
It's like that armchair one, I would assume. He gets in. He basically gets in the shower, and now I think these are brilliant, but I'm never going to get one now I've seen this film. This thing that you pull over the bath to put your washing on. Now, I've lived in enough tenements in my time in Scotland that I would have got loads of use out of that, man. Mm-hmm. That would have been absolutely ideal for me.
It was a great idea. It's just basically just a retractable wire into it that just latches onto the other side of the room. So I thought it was fantastic. Well,
and he garrots himself with it, and he's slipping in the bath because of the water and the slime and all that. And he's done.
Now, this is my problem with that scene. They could have just left it that. It could have hung himself. That's it. But why did they show you the floor and the water retracting back? They could have just left it.
Yeah. And the thing is, they're going to find, when they do an autopsy, they're going to find that shit on his feet anyway. Because it's not just water; it's like greasy, isn't it?
Yeah. So
that was kind of, because the ghost is wind and water. The ghost is part of Captain Planet's Planeteers. I can only assume.
Earth, Wind and Fire.
Boogie Wonderland. Yeah, he was having a Boogie Wonderland in that bath, wasn't he? Giving it. Yeah, get yourself someone who can move and shake in a bath like this.
Aye. I was sliding about the dance floor.
Meanwhile, Alex is reading up on air disasters and picks a copy of the Penthouse to whack off with.
Yep.
Yeah, Todd obviously. We've said gets it, but Alex sees an owl at the window. It's like some regular occurrence, and throws the Penthouse at it, but it hits the fan instead and shreds it. Gives him one shred of paper that says Todd. So okay.
Do you want to hear a fact about Penthouse?
I would love to hear a fact about Penthouse, John.
Would you really?
I do, yeah.
This kind of blew my mind, right? So Penthouse is a men's magazine founded by Bob Goizine.
Carol G's.
That's him. Spit the dog as well. It combined urban lifestyle articles with softcore pornography until the 90s. It evolved into a hardcore magazine, and even though the founder was American, the magazine was founded in 1965 in the UK.
Fantastic.
I thought it was an American magazine.
I just assumed it was American too. Nobody does smut like us in the 60s.
I thought we had Nave and Fiesta, and they had Penthouse and Playboy. That was the rules.
Mayfair.
Mayfair, aye. Mayfair, Jesus. Escort for your pleasure.
Jugs, which could also be an antique collectible magazine. Show us your Toby Jugs. Whoa. I don't know.
Go on, Charlie Dimmock.
So he runs to get to Todd's house. Todd's dad's kind of staring at him, and Todd's being taken out in a body bag.
Hot body.
Yeah. The dad says, "You caused Todd so much guilt over his brother's death that he killed himself." Alex goes to Clear's. She does all these like sculptures and paintings and things. I think maybe she made that soaring eagle.
Hey, who knows? Yeah, she's very talented. She loves a good Walkman.
She does love a good Walkman. Yeah, I did spot that. She says she's certain the FBI have got no idea what's happening and that they don't know how to connect everything. 4 years at high school, they've never spoken, but they connected over this. She didn't see what he did, but she felt it, she says, which is kind of unnecessary, but, I guess it's something. Yeah. He explains he thinks Todd's the first of them to die. They go to the funeral home to see Todd, or at least his body. Mm-hmm. They break in, like, through the skylight, which seems a bit something. And they do see a Todd, but not that one. Who is it?
It's Candyman. This
It is
Candyman, Tony Todd.
Tony Todd.
Exactly.
Tony Todd, of course, made his debut in Platoon and has starred in more than 100 films, as well as stage and TV stuff. In Candyman, he got $1,000 for every bee sting he got and was stung 23 times.
Wow.
That's
all
interesting
right,
stuff. Yeah.
Actually, right, we're talking about money. Sorry,
Go
we're
on.
talking about money. I looked this up. I was looking up plane crash counselling to see if there was such a thing. There is such a thing, but when I looked at the American site, it says that plane crash survivors on American planes at least automatically get $10,000.
All right, okay.
So if you
Did
survive
they
a plane crash, you get money.
survive the plane crash, though, is my question for you.
That's a good shout, actually.
Yeah. Did
He
they?
hit
Yeah, but did they? Because they didn't get on it. There you go.
True.
We'll have to ask the American Aviation Society, or not, as the case may be. Tony Todd, is he death in this? Is he the human personification of death, or is he just some boy that's in the know?
It's just a weird guy because he comes across as if he is like, "Oh, I'll see you guys later."
Yeah, he does. Yeah, but maybe he's just talking about it as the guy that runs the mortuary or whatever. Mm-hmm. He says they make a noise. He's like, "Please, you'll wake the dead." I'm like, "Yes, every line's gold. Every line." He explains the marks on the neck are cuticle abrasions from pulling at the cord. So we can assume that Todd didn't kill himself. Well, we know that he didn't. Tony Todd said it's death's design. Cheating death causes a new design. We're halfway through the film before we know the plot. We're like 40 minutes into the movie, and now we know the plot.
He says, what's going on?
Yeah. he says, so what you're saying is that we can change death's design, and his line is, "You don't want to fuck with that Mac Daddy." And I'm like, I fucking love you. You are so cool. Yeah, why are you not in every fucking film, mate? And why has it taken us a year and 2 months to get you in a second film, mate?
I know. It's been too long. It's been too long. Oh, Tony Todd.
I'll see you soon. And that's it. And it's done. And they go for a coffee because.
Oh, we see the spasm, didn't we? Did you see that?
Oh yeah, he has a spasm, and that's kind of like, you'll wake the dead. Yeah.
But apparently that's a freak thing. It happens, but it's the tightening muscles, but it can actually happen at the point of death, right, all the way up to rigor mortis.
All right, fantastic.
So the eyes can move and stuff like that all the way up. I was like, that is just freaky.
No, I don't need to know that. I don't need to see that. But considering the amount of gas I let out alive, I dread to think what's going to happen when I die. So Alex says to Clea, as they're sat outside this coffee shop, on this quite blatant soundstage. It's quite blatantly not outside. It looks so shit. We need to be open to the signs. He shows her the shredded paper that says Todd. What he doesn't show her is the rest of the shredded magazine he was wanking over. He sees a bus pass by in the window, in kind of the reflection of the window, but the bus isn't there. Mm-hmm. He says they need to find the pattern of death and avoid death to cheat it. At that point, Carter and Terry pull up in his muscle car with that new metal stuff I've been going on about.
Yeah.
And, on the final destination. I'm kind of like, yay! They mentioned the title of the film in a roundabout way.
That still counts, doesn't it?
It counts. Yeah, absolutely. He knocks Hitchcock off his bike and causes a crash. Carter, it's not a nasty one. If you've not seen the film,
he just drops his Twinkie. Somebody runs out his Twinkie. Apparently, the scene was cut because he was actually meant to be secret eating Twinkies at the time, so that's why there's a Twinkie in that shot.
Oh right, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Carter's in Alex's face, like furious at him, and I still don't really know why, because he shouldn't be angry at him because he stopped him from getting on the plane. He should be delighted. He's such a mess. Terry's the girlfriend. She storms off. You can just drop dead. Then she gets splattered by this bus, right? Now, I like that. It's really good, but I've got to make the point. Maximum speed in a built-up area is 30 miles per hour. That bus must have been doing a ton to be able to squish that.
Yeah. Even I was like, what the hell? Did they have that coming a mile away?
Yeah. Later on, he's watching a news article and it says an electrical connection caused an explosion. And it shows this graphic of the route of these cables, which doesn't look normal. I mean, it's kind of takes a specific route around. It looks like Pipe Mania. Do you remember the old Amiga game, Pipe Mania? No reference for nobody.
Even though I was watching, I was like, the level of detail they went in. They've never put that in the news. The only time I've seen something like that is when it showed you the Titanic breaking in half. That's literally the only time I've seen that kind of level of detail.
Did your man Billy Zane cheat death in Titanic? I have a child. Oh, God, yeah. He cheated death. Is he? Did they eventually get him? Did he eventually get trampled to death by some horses in a Brooklyn street or something? Was he killed by Bill the Butcher? Gangs of New York.
Just shot at distance.
Oh man! R.I.P. Billy Zane's hair. By the way,
I know, gone but not forgotten.
He checks the cable shape against this seat in place. He's got it on tracing paper. I haven't thought about tracing paper for ages. He's got to tracing it on his monitor. First it's Todd, then it's Terry, then it's Miss Luton. So he figures out that she's next. At Miss Luton house, she's moving jobs and packing up. She's really struggling to deal with the fact that this happened to the kids. So she's taking the unselfish way out and she's moving town.
She's leaving. I know. It's like, I know I killed that guy by letting him go back to the plane. So I'm fucking off.
That's right. Yeah. And now I've seen Terry get hit by a fucking bus, get absolutely exploded by a bus. I cannot help but go. Yeah, I've got to go.
I forgot they were all there.
Yeah. She sees Alex outside and calls the feds, who show up within seconds to cart him off, like she's got them on fucking speed dial. He explains the pattern to the feds. They're not having any of it. Back at Miss Luton's, she puts John Denver record on. We're not talking about him anymore. But I couldn't help thinking, is it maybe the ghost of John Denver that's killing these people? Is he a vengeful spirit?
Because they survived their plane crash. He never.
Yeah, absolutely. John Denver the Gozorian, we have come to... Please go back to your nearest... dimension.
Yeah. Take the bloody dogs with you.
Are you a god? No, John Denver. Man, I wish we'd watched that instead. Everybody does that. Why we're never gonna do that film. Everyone does it. She puts the kettle on, right, and throws the tea towel over this knife block, and all the way you're kind of going, these are things that could all come into play. They could come all into play. She lights the gas stove with this massive cook's match, isn't it? And there's like a minute where it's not lighting, and then it does, and it's kind of like, wow, look at wow, I want one of those. We've got an electric cooker. I want one of those ranges, man.
Beautiful burner, isn't it?
Oh, mate, yeah, you could flambe all sorts of shit on that. The feds think Alex is killing people, basically, because he keeps turning up at all these dead people's houses, but they just let him go. Rachel said one of these guys, there's the guy with the glasses who looks a little bit like the assistant out of Ted Lasso.
Yes.
And then the other guy looks like Cut Price, The Rock, The Pebble.
A third off.
Miss L's making the tea. She freaks out at the mug. Like, she gets upset at the mug.
Yeah,
doesn't she? Because it's a school mug. Yeah. Not a real school, by the way.
Abraham High. Yeah, I've checked that. The only one I could find was Abraham Lincoln High School, but that's in San Francisco.
All right. Okay. That's going on the list just by default. Just to try and get 200. So she throws this hot tea on the floor. So she replaces it with ice and very, very cold vodka. You're a vodka drinker, John. Do you put your vodka in the freezer?
No, but I really should. Because apparently it doesn't freeze. So I'd be better off.
It's lush. It's really it becomes really thick. It's nice. But then you wouldn't throw ice in it. You're just watering it down. Yeah, you should.
I know. You should put ice in it. It was a pointless exercise. That.
Well, no, because I guess that super chills the glass, the mug, because the mug goes from being red hot to going cold and does what?
Cracks.
It does, exactly. We've all seen Alien 3. We know how it works. Leaks vodka onto a massive 2000 CRT PC monitor.
See that?
Yeah,
built-in modem.
Yeah. Did you see the stained glass effect on the door, by the way?
No?
Yeah, as she kind of leans down on the door, it's like faux stained glass, basically like a sticker, but it had a big knife on it.
Oh,
Almost, really? Yeah, so it's a bit more of that kind of preempting what's about to happen.
Right, okay.
The monitor shorts and explodes this huge bit of glass into her neck. She's bleeding everywhere. She makes the mistake of pulling the glass out of her neck. I mean, what a fucking amateur.
I know.
What is this fucking amateur teacher hour? She's obviously not a biology teacher.
Oh, it's certainly not. Leave it in there.
Yeah.
Every time I get a nail in my foot, the first thing I do is just leave it in there. Leave it in.
Oh, fiddle-dee-dee, that will require a tetanus shot. It ignites the vodka trail and explodes the bottle. She falls to the ground. She's trying to grab the tea towel, and what happens?
Oh, the knife comes out and just...
Yeah, pulls the knife right through the chest. Alex arrives, tries to save her, but the oven explodes and this kitchen chair falls on the knife. It's brilliant. I almost expected Alex... Yeah, pushes it down. And then Alex pulls the knife out and then realises he's got the knife in his hand. And then... Woo! It was a real kind of like Curb Your Enthusiasm moment. What idiots!
Yeah, because Stifler was on his bike as well. When he'd gone by the house just as he ran out, I'm thinking, what the hell?
Yeah. So he flees the house just as it explodes.
The beautiful house that the Vancouverites wanted to keep.
All right.
When they built it. Took them 5 weeks to build. They built it, and the surrounding area they thought it was a real nice house and wanted them to keep it, but they blew it up.
Bastards
was a cracking looking house.
It was, yeah, lovely. Hitchcock and Carter are at this monument to the dead now. Carter's trying to put Terry's name on it with his fucking knife. He's such a prick, and for he's so 2D, for no reason.
There's no depth to that guy whatsoever.
Claire asks them to come because Alex knows who's next. They drop Claire at this beach at Jones State Beach Park.
Yes.
Now, I learned a little bit about this because I'm always quite interested in these different places. Have a look at this on a map, listeners, by the way, because I'm telling you, Jones Beach State Park is just a pile of fucking sand in the sea, right?
They put the trees in specifically to make a walk through it as if it was a maze. That was part of the commentary because they said it was like that.
Oh, very good. 6.5 miles of white sand beach, 6 million visitors per year, and it was created by Robert Moses in the 20s by dredging sand from the channel to create, and I quote, a people's park from mosquito-infested swamps. You gotta love that. Where are you going on holiday? Are the mosquito-infested swamps? We'll have a good time.
Love those skeeters.
Yep. Abandoning or feeding cats in the park is prohibited, and you can be seriously prosecuted for doing so. I don't know what the fuck the cats are all doing there. Probably eating the mosquitoes.
Eating people? Yeah.
She explains that Dad was killed in a 7-Eleven by a robber. Her mom married an asshole and they left her. If that's the design, well then fuck death. She dreams of a design where they're all still alive. They're taking Alex to Claire's dad's cabin in the woods. Not that cabin in the woods. Billy wants to see the Jets win a Super Bowl. Yeah, son. We all want to see our team win a Super Bowl, but you support the Jets and I support the Dolphins. Never the twain are going to meet, mate. It's not going to happen. Yeah, they still haven't won a Super Bowl 21 years later. Carter says he won't wait any longer. He's going to go out of his own free will. He speeds through these red lights, takes his hands off the wheel. Alex sees a train reflection in the window and that his seatbelt is frayed, is broken. Yeah. But then when he looks down again, his seatbelt's on. I'm kind of like, okay, what's happening there? Carter stops the car on this crossing and there's this train coming. And it's a proper kind of unstoppable Denzel Washington train, isn't it? I think it was called the train that couldn't slow down. And it's also going about 10 miles an hour because it takes fucking donkeys to get there. Either that or it's coming up a hill and they can see it from miles away.
It did take a while, didn't it? Because he
Yeah.
was sitting there prattling on about how he was going to be master of his own destiny and all that sort of shit.
That's right.
Hell of
Yeah.
a boy.
Hitchcock, they get out because Billy kind of gets them out, but he's not having it. And then he changes his mind, but he can't get out because he's stuck. So they kind of
Try and pull him out.
And pull him out just in time. The car gets absolutely totaled, but they're still alive. Your man Hitchcock's going, I don't want to be anywhere near you. You're dangerous. You're going to get us all killed. I'm going to live. I'm going to be okay. The train throws up this bit of jagged metal. It just cuts his head off.
Cut the top of his head off. That was quite
exactly
good,
that. It doesn't cut him off at the neck. It goes through his mouth.
Right through his mouth. Yeah.
Top bit of his No open casket for you, Joe Pesci.
Certainly not. No, because they called that blue bagging. So that effect itself was called blue bagging, whereby the stuntman has literally a blue bag over his head.
Right.
So basically they can just CGI whatever.
All right. Okay.
I don't know. I thought it was green screen back then because when he said blue bagging, I went, I've never heard of blue bagging.
I've heard of blue balls.
Aye.
It's not the same thing.
Unless it's another character for Lord of the Rings.
Sauron and his orbs. They get to the cabin and everything's taped up. He's got this lantern in a bowl of water and he's eating what looks like a tin of cat food with a plastic spoon, wearing gardening gloves. Yeah. But he has to take like the metal top off. And I'm sure, listeners, if you're anything like us, you've had an incident with a metal can before.
I nearly killed myself with a free Bento's pie.
What, by eating it? That was your first mistake, mate.
That was exactly it.
Was it food poisoning?
Taking out by a free Bento's. But apparently it was meant to be chicken, but Devon was allergic, so they put in banana.
Oh, right, okay. Like as the Americans would call it, pudding.
Yes.
Pudding.
Yeah,
okay.
Pudding.
He has a near miss with this knife in a door, and we don't know what this knife just like randomly as the door's opening falls in. And I was like, the fuck is that? It's like a scythe or something. And then as he reaches kind of down the ground, he finds these fishing hooks. He's going, rusty, tetanus. And I'm kind of like, I don't think that's really in keeping with the other deaths that we've seen so far. Slowly poisoning your blood, mate. I don't think that's...
Exactly. Sepsis.
Alex is reading the paper. Oh, he's kind of lighting the fire. He's throwing these bits of paper onto the fire and missing every time. And he sees these kind of Barbie twins are mentioned, and he realises because he didn't move seats, Claire was in the seat in front and she's next. Yes. So he's about to go and do something stupid.
Cue the most preposterous death scene you've ever
Correct.
Seen in the world.
Yeah, this is mental. There's a storm outside her house, and this power line gets kind of cut down, doesn't it? It's always with the wind. The feds have found Alex, and they're chasing him because they've convinced Claire that that they can take him in and look after him. He takes a kayak across the water to give them the fucking slip, and I was like, "What? Are we in Adam's Family Values camp here? What is going on?"
I all I needed to do was whip out a gun and just shoot him. He wasn't going very fast.
A kayak is a small, narrow watercraft. The name comes from the Greenlandic word kwajai, meaning hunter's boat. The first Olympic kayak races took place in 1936.
Boom.
You like that, don't you? You like it. You like it more than you like this scene. Claire heads out to help the dog because the dog's barking at this electric thing. She nearly gets washing whirligigged here. American listeners, I'm sure you don't call it a whirligig, but we certainly do. This kind of like this spinny thing flies out and nearly gets her. I thought that was really cool. But instead of getting her, it pierces the pool, this plastic pool, and there's water everywhere, electrified water. She jumps onto this trestling up the side of the house.
Yep.
And climbs in kind of back into the house, Gets into the garage and into the car. I mean, I'm exhausted just remembering this.
I know. Everything explodes though because of the electrical.
Oh, the electric charge through the house.
Yeah, and it
light
blows
bulbs
up
and that.
and sets it on fire. So she has to run to the garage and into the car.
Yeah, she's trying to drive through the garage door, which is really fucking stupid, and gets stuck. Alex arrives and explains she can't get out as she's grounded by the tires. Rubber is an electrical insulator. The frame of the car is what protects you as the electricity takes the path of least resistance, so electricity conducts through the ground. That's a good one, isn't it? You like that one?
Yeah, really is. I do like that one. That was good.
He decides to take it on. Oh, so what is this random gas canister that finds itself under the car?
Yeah,
I missed this twice. It just shoots across.
He tries to hit the electrical thing with a spade, and it knocks the spade out his hand, and it flies into the garage and hits this.
There you go.
Container, and then it flies out. I'm thinking, what are the odds?
Yeah. Well, when death is after you. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's about to ignite, so he says, "Look, I'm just going to do this." He grabs the cable that's on the hood of the car, and she jumps free just as the car goes up, and he gets knocked back into the garage. Is he dead? Is he fuck? 6 months later, the remaining three of them are in Paris. They're not. They're on this really shitty Vancouver, Paris. This really shitty sound stage, aren't they? Couple of beers and a glass of wine. Of course, Americans can do so because they aren't in America. If you want to drink in France, you're 18. But if you're 16 and you're with adults, you can also have a drink.
Oh, I was going to go after because apparently the senior trip there was 17, so obviously 6 months later.
Oh, right, yeah, so they're 18. My children, they need wine. Who are you to disagree?
And believe.
Alex still has his plan. He's certain it's not over. He heads off to the hotel, and Clear saves him from this bus, which is about him. What is it with speeding buses?
Yeah, because she sees a bus reflection, didn't she?
Yeah, so they've run out of ideas, so they're just going to do the bus again.
Yeah.
She saves him from the bus. And then there's all these other little bits that are happening, like fucking Mousetrap, isn't it? There's like these marbles rolling down a thing into some paint.
Fire thing.
Yeah, there's a guy with some meat on his shoulder doing a meat delivery at night.
Yeah, a meat hook. You're like,
with a meat hook.
Anywhere near me.
Candyman in it, yeah. And then there's a guy selling fruit and veg on the side of the street again at night. What is going on? And then this massive sign, it basically grabs this massive sign. Carter throws him out of the way, and he says, "I told you were next. Now who's next?" Well, seems the one thing Carter was shit at school was physics, because he seems to forget that what goes up must come down.
Back again.
That's right, and it twats him, and then it's and that's the movie, save for some credits with some fucking fart rock new metal shite.
It's just so weird listening to that stuff again, and it's just like
it is, yeah, it is. And tomorrow I'm doing a couple of viewings, so instead of listening to podcasts, I'm going to listen to some fart metal, new metal, and see what's going on. Yeah. What else have you got, John? I bet you got loads, huh?
So the airport that they filmed at the beginning was in Canada. They could only shoot in one direction because there was Canadian flags at the other side, and they weren't allowed to take them down.
All right, wow, fantastic. Blame Canada.
Exactly. Who doesn't blame Canada for everything? The senior trip is from 17, 18-year-olds who are seniors, but that's in the 12th grade. The first model Walkman was a TPS L2, which was released in 1979 and originally made of aluminium, but changed to plastic. That's it.
I think you'll find it's pronounced aluminum, but yeah, that's fine.
Aluminum. I'm going to kill you with some saran wrap.
I'm pretty sure there's one of these later movies, because there's another 4 of these. One of these later movies, there's somebody dies from cling film.
there's 3D as well, and then there's the Final Destination. So
The Final Destination. Final Destination. Wow. Okay. Anything else? Oh yeah, I've got a few. How I missed all this? I'm not using my usual note system, so there's quite a few things I missed. Ali Larter released a cookbook in 2013 with the most catchy title I've ever heard: Kitchen Revelry, a year of festive menus from my home to yours. Just call it my favourite Christmas recipes. Voles Airlines, which is who they were flying with, are not real, but of course they're not, because who would want to publicise their airplanes blow up, killing classes of kids? Here's a question, actually. On that subject, could you make this film post 9/11?
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't think you can make this now.
Nah, no with the subject matter, probably not. No.
Charles de Gaulle Airport, where they're heading to, is 131 kilometres from the centre of Paris. It is ranked the second busiest airport in Europe, John. I will give you a couple of guesses to see what other two do you think they are. Think European airports, the other two busiest that make the top three.
Now, this is. Are you classing as still being in Europe?
Well, yeah. Well, as of 2020, so why not?
Heathrow would have been right up there then.
Correct. To the one.
And Prestwick.
which for listeners is some way out of Glasgow.
Elvis landed there. Never got off the plane, but he still landed there.
The one, the very famous fact, I'm adding it to the list, is that the one country in the United Kingdom that Elvis has been to is Scotland. Yeah, no. And this will upset Daily Mail readers because it's Istanbul, Turkey. It's not in Europe. It's not in Europe. Shut up, you gammon-faced twats. Kerr Van Cleve Smith is Carter. He played 16-year-old in Dawson's Creek, as you said, John. Well done. When he was 26.
What?
Correct.
How did he pull that off?
Well, he was also the first man to have an on-screen gay kiss on US TV in Dawson's Creek. Or certainly one of the two first men, because there would have been another one there, you would have thought as well. And I like this fact a heck of a lot. He was the last person to ever be pranked on MTV's Punk'd.
Oh, man.
Remember that? Yeah, and funnily enough, that was probably the last time anyone had heard of this guy. prove me wrong, listeners. I'm sure someone somewhere.
I've never seen him anything else.
No, James Wong directed Final Destination 1 and 3. He was co-wrote The X-Files, we've already talked about. He was studying engineering and then changed to film after watching Apocalypse Now.
Wow.
Pretty good. Final Destination 2, I think, is probably my favourite of them. You know, the trees on the logs on the truck.
That's the one that gets me every time I'm on and driving. Every time I see that thing.
Absolutely.
Oh, the one that gets ripped apart with wire, didn't he? There's a fence and he gets chopped in three.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good one.
It is a good one. Yeah, I think that's probably arguably better. I don't know.
It was a cop, wasn't it? It was cop.
Yeah. Is that the one with the really annoying kid? There's the really annoying kid and his mum, and he's at the dentist, and there's pigeons and a plate glass thing. That's that one, isn't it? Yeah. I want to watch that one again. Jim Morrison's grave is one other thing that was in her book. It's located in Père Lachaise Cemetery in Paris. The gravestone says Cata ton Damino Etu, which means true to his own spirit. And there's no mention of him taking Wayne from Wayne's World in his dreams to do his own concert in Wayne's World 2 with an American native wearing nothing. That bit I don't think actually happened. In Devon Sawa's room, he's got a Pecker poster. Have you ever seen this movie? Pecker, 1998 film. Edward Furlong is a photographer. Budget of $6 million, made $2.3 million. which is very much in keeping with the rest of John Waters' films. He doesn't really make films that good. Christina Ricci's in that one as well. She doesn't fuck any.
Oh no,
baby
sorry,
ghosts.
I remember it.
Shite, it's rotten. Fighting Colonials are not a team. We've already said they're not a school. Oh, almost there. High-profile plane crashes. We'll not talk about the obvious one, of course. But in 2000, there were 21 plane crashes, including Concorde crashing, killing 109 people. 1993, Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571, carrying the Uruguayan rugby team, crashed into the Andes. 16 of the 45 on board survived. Do you remember how, John?
They ate each other.
They did. Absolutely. Yeah.
Was it Ethan Hawke in it? I'm sure Ethan Hawke was in it.
All right, okay. I don't remember, but all I remember is the Simpsons line, "No thanks to the plane, we are still alive." It's not a line from the film, but it's a lot of fun. The Todd mentions we're going to go to the Yankees that year. Year 2000 was the 98th season. And they won the World Series. Duct tape. There's duct tape at one point. It's also called duct tape, whack whack, from the cotton duck cloth it was originally made of. It's now scrim-backed, pressure-sensitive tape. The fuck scrim is. Coated with polyethylene. The duct tape guys have written 7 books about it because they're really fucking boring, and it is extremely popular with our good friends, kidnappers and serial killers.
I was going to say that.
That is almost all he wrote, but I've just spotted another one there. I'm laughing, it's not very funny. February 3rd, 1959, Buddy Holly, Richie Valens and the Big Bopper, hello baby, died in a plane crash known as the day the music died, or should I probably say, goodbye babe. Is it too soon? Is it too soon?
I think Jive Bunny cashed in.
Absolutely. That American Pie song is about that. Leonard Skinner lost 3 band members in October 1977 in a plane crash, as detailed in Con Air, previous episode. Steve Buscemi should be an American national treasure, and I don't know why he isn't. Glenn Miller and his band vanished over the English Channel in 1944. I bet he wasn't in the mood. I am not as funny as I think I am, but there you go. That is everything I have got, John. How do you think
that is weird? Usually you're all over it as we go on.
It's a slightly different process for my notes here, and I'm not going to do it that way again.
I'm going to give it a strong 80.
John, it was very close. You're in the ballpark. 83. 83. I am happy with that because it's one of our shorter episodes. Because there's a lot of kind of action going on, and there's not a lot of crack said.
Not a lot of things to say. All the stuff I seen was at the beginning, and then when the story evolved, there was literally nothing to latch on. I didn't even know the make of the train. I couldn't see just a bit of a nightmare. But I'm all right with 83.
All you knew is it was the train that couldn't slow down.
Yes.
Lots of fun.
No, it was good. It was good. It was worth watching. I watched that 3 times actually.
Oh, did you?
Well, when you do the commentary, you can't hear what the actual actors are saying. So I was looking for key things that they're saying. So I took a lot of the commentary stuff. So it was quite good.
Okay, good. $1.99 at the minute on Google Play. That, by the way, if you want to do that, you got it for a quid at CX, right?
99 pence in CX.
99p, fantastic.
What a bargain.
Indeed, it was.
I'll be bringing it down for the shelf.
Good man, fantastic. We are on Twitter. You'll get us on Twitter, where you usually find me having a crack about all sorts of nonsense with all of our guests that we've had on.
Oh, yeah, we poddy pals up. Pod pals. Pod pals.
Hashtag pod pals. I'm going to start doing that. We've got to thank friend of the podcast, Lucas, for bringing this one to our attention months and months and months ago. In the summer, he brought this to our attention. That will make a good episode. So we're really grateful. Partial credit, Lucas, for that. If you like what we do, we've got loads of episodes previous. give a listen to something or recommend to a friend. You will get us all over the shop as well, John. We've been guesting everywhere, haven't we? We've been on SP Film Viewers. I've been on Cult Connections a couple of times. We've been on Film Floggers. We have been on Fuck My Work Life, which is a lot of fun.
We had to have a Belson.
Yeah, we've had a Belson on, and I've been Belsoning it up. Yeah, and with the Wilsons, super familiar with the Wilsons as well. That fucking show we have also been on, which was a lot of fun, and I guested on that, which will be coming out just before Christmas, with Tom for the other podcast, which is Everything You Learned from The Simpsons. It's this kind of thing, but a bit more English, with Tom's fantastic northern accent and lots of chat about people like Dr. Harold Shipman and our good friend, who I think we're probably going to get sued from, British nanny that shook a baby to death, Louise Woodward. We mentioned in our current episode. Go and give that a listen. That's awful.
That's a wide range.
Yeah, exactly. We're upsetting everybody. But yeah, get us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Just do a search for 100 Things We Learned from Film. But please give us a rate and review. Better still, go and tell your mates. We are going to be back next week with more ghosty stuff.
Don't forget. Please
have you just had a moment, John?
Hello, Halloween-esque.
Do you want to say your goodbyes?
Guys, it's as always been an absolute pleasure. I've actually really enjoyed this one. It's short and sweet, and it was a good watch. So, but thanks for listening. Thank you so much.
It has truly been an episode, and I'm glad that we are finally at our final destination, the end music. But for now, I've been Mark, he's been John, and we have been 83 things we have learned from 2000's fart rock filled Final Destination. See ya.
See you guys.